Dear participants, good morning, excuse me. Welcome to the Invest Horizon Teaching Forum in Sustainability organized by TechTour. My name is Natalia and I will be your moderator today. In the very beginning of this session, I would like to share with you a couple of facts about the Invest Horizon Accelerator program. This is a third-year project supported by the European Commission in association of Eureka. TechTour is the coordinating partner, and together with the other partners that now you can see on my screen, we are delivering free tailor-made services to top 500 selected entrepreneurs from across Europe. We started in 2019 and the project will be finalized in 1 month time in December this year. The pitching companies today have been selected from the Invest Horizon Accelerated SMEs, Cohort 8 and Invest Horizon Pilot. Now we start with a few but important housekeeping rules so you know how to participate in today's session and take the most out of it. Please be aware we are recording this session, so if you are presenting company and not okay with that, please write us here in the chat. We will exclude you from the recording that will be shared with all companies after the session. If you're not with your full name, please rename yourself with name, surname, and company name. You can easily do that by clicking on the 3 dots on the top right of your screen and choosing the option Rename. Please keep your camera on all the time during the session. This way, we would like to shorten the distance. Please turn off your microphone and activate it only if you are presenting or invited to speak. Anytime during this session, you can submit your questions in the chat, addressing them to the speakers, the pitching companies, or to our team in case you need any support. You can use the chat functionality by pressing the fast key combination Alt+H. Now I will be going quickly through the program of today's session. First minutes, I will invite to the stage Peter Doyle from Photon Hub Europe for a special EC project presentation. Next, you all will be split into 3 breakout rooms, including 6 or 7 pitching companies each, experts, and 1 facilitator from TechTour keeping the time. At the end of the breakout session, you all will be requested to complete our feedback survey. And all eForum today should fit in 1 hour, 40 minutes in total, hopefully. If you already have any questions, please write them down in the chat and they will be answered shortly by my colleagues and myself. Now I give the word to Peter Doyle. Peter, I will stop sharing my screen so you could share yours.
Great,
you're very welcome.
Thank you. And good morning, everybody. Okay, thank you, Natalia. I won't keep you long. I know everybody's keen to get pitching, but this is a great opportunity just to make you aware of something that you may not be aware of, which could be very beneficial to you as a company, particularly as it's basically an accelerator with a lot of finance behind it. So we can help companies basically be more successful in their product development and their go-to-market strategy. As Natalia said, I'm here to talk about Photon Hub Europe, which is the latest incarceration of the innovation hub at a European level. But I want to tell you about where we've come from so that you understand what success we've had and how it may is relevant for you. So that's the Act Fast program, which is currently operating, has been for 10 years now in various iterations. We're currently on Act Fast 4.0. Act Fast is closing its funding very shortly, and Photon Hub Europe is what is taking over as a successor to do even more and to support more companies. But just so you understand what we do, and how useful it can be, I thought I would mention, I'd talk about Act Fast, give you real examples. Just personally, my introduction, myself, I'm a business coach based out of Brussels, the university in Brussels, and we coordinate the entire consortium. Really, it's the consortium members that you get access to. We coordinate it centrally. My background is in business development, let's say sales, commercial roles, right up to board member and a co-founder. And I've been doing it for a long time, including an IPO on NASDAQ in the cybersecurity area. So I do understand as an entrepreneur what it takes to grow a company from zero to a startup, scale up, and finding an exit. And certainly that journey, you need supports along the way. You need to use the right supports at the right moments to make breakthroughs in what you're achieving. And from our point of view, we want to offer that in the domain of photonics. You're not photonics companies, but the thing about photonics as a technology is that it can enable products in all sorts of application areas, food, healthcare, ICT, as we know, the optical fiber network, manufacturing industry 4.0, LiDAR in drive cars. But in the sustainability domain, for sure, photonics is key. We know solar PV, obviously, but also environmental sensing, quality of soil, water, air, so sensing for pollutants, and monitoring quality earth observation systems, and of course lighting and LED lighting. So it cuts into all sorts of applications, and we're working now with a lot of companies who would not be photonics companies per se. They're building solutions in sustainability domain, but they need a photonics component to really make that product achieve what they want to do, to bring it to life. So the sectors are certainly growing across those, all of those domains. Some are very, very strong. Photonics use of components clearly in consumer entertainment and displays and lighting, but it's growing very strongly in new areas as well, particularly the sensing, the optical sensing domain. The growth rates are strong, and Europe is strong on a global terms. But the challenge in Europe, and this is not just in photonics in general, is that most of the companies like you are sub 10 million in the revenues. And the challenge is, can we grow more European small companies into large scale companies? And for companies like you, like all SMEs, the problem for sure is finance, and you need to get capital into the company. But it's what you spend the capital on as well, and making the right choices. And sometimes that's about access to the right expertise and the access to the cutting edge technologies. And certainly in the domain of photonics, where those things are quite specialist, it's even more difficult. You just don't have in-house experts. Photonics is not your core business. You just want to use it in your product. How do you get the right expertise? And then how do you get those technologies? Again, you're not going to invest in having them in-house. And this is where ACFAST and now Photon Hub Europe comes into play. What we do is we have pulled together a consortium of partners who have experts and have the technologies, and we pool them together and offer them as a one-stop shop incubator for companies. So companies don't have to shop around, knocking on different doors. You come to one door, you present what your need is, and then we mobilize the resources to actually help you to achieve what you want. So we have European coverage in terms of the consortium of the experts and the technologies. And it's really, again, about facilitating at European level cross-border. So you may be a Spanish company, you would typically go to your Spanish research centers for support, but maybe the best support actually comes from Germany or Italy. But you don't have knowledge of that network. So again, we bring that to the table where we mobilize the best at a European level to support you based on your very particular product needs. We cover all the technologies. So again, we're not technology push. It's the technology response to the business requirement. We cover the full supply chain, so you can start with just an early concept, just an idea, and it needs a feasibility study, right through to then design, measurement, and right in building this demonstrator and building the prototype. So that's where we fill the gap really in the prototyping area and getting the right prototype for scale up. We're really an SME instrument, albeit we do help large scale companies, particularly if they don't have photonics expertise. What we do is provide innovation support. So our funding goes to our partners to help the companies achieve what they want. You get the output of the projects, not the funding itself, which makes it a very, let's say, low administration and fast support mechanism for you as a company. You don't have to enter into a European project in that sense. You're just the beneficiary of the outputs. It's the innovation support driven by the business needs, as I said. We really are trying to work with more and more what we would call non-photonics companies, companies who would consider themselves a sustainability company or an automotive company, but photonics is critical technology for them. It is about scaling the product rapidly to market. So we're not about, we're not interested in doing 3-year-long research projects. Our average project duration is about 6 months, and the average project cost is about 50K. And companies can then come back and do a follow-on project, all about rapid TRL acceleration. And from our point of view, the measurement for us is the growth in you as a business, your jobs and revenue growth, and why we partner with Tech Tour and do venture capital events is also that you're raising more private capital to go alongside the support that we've given. So if we've helped a company move from a feasibility to a prototype to their first, let's say, small series production, then they are key milestones where they will raise private capital, and that's another key KPI for us. Very briefly, the kind of funding is for SMEs. We heavily subsidize more than 80%, up to a maximum of 120K per project. As I said, you can have a follow-on project. For large scale companies, it's 50%, and we get our funding from the European Commission under Horizon 2020. Supported hundreds of companies at this stage in all sorts of domains. It's an online application process. So from application to approval, we meet every 2 months. So it can be as fast as that to get an approval. And then the project is typically about 6 months. Now the ACT-FAST funding is closing, but we've been successful enough that the Commission has given us more money to do more things. So we've established Photon Hub Europe, and Photon Hub Europe is really here for the long term. So ACT-FAST and its predecessors had 4-year funding cycles. Photon Hub Europe is pretty much the long-term now culmination of all of that, and will be around on the European landscape permanently. We've more partners. We go higher up in the TRL, so we actually do pilot scale production as well, and much wider in terms of the supports. So we offer training and investment supports as well, IP coaching. So Photon Hub, www.photonhub.eu is the address to go to if this is something you think you may be interested in now or in the future, where you see photonics sensors maybe as something that you would like to innovate with as part of your product roadmap. Then certainly you can present to us and we can help orient you to the right solutions, or do these deep innovation projects with our partners where we'll actually develop new IP and new products with you. Other than that, I wish you very, very well today in the session, and for sure, please reach out at any moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. We hope it was interesting for our companies today, and they could take this opportunity in the future. Now we continue with some details on how we are going to run the breakout rooms today. First, our facilitators will give the word to the experts in the room for very short introductions. Then every pitching company will have 10 minutes time, 5 minutes for presentation and 4 minutes for Q&A. For keeping the time of your presentation, you will see a red warning 1 minute left on the top of your screens. At the end of each time slot, experts in the room will have 1 minute to complete an online evaluation form for each company performance. A special link to this form will be shared with you in the breakout room. Please be aware that only experts in the room are invited to complete the evaluation forms. If you are presenting company, please do not do that. And here you see the actual room distribution today. Now you all should see also a pop-up on your screens. Click and go to our breakout rooms. Good luck to all pitching companies today, and see you later.